I would like to welcome on stage Mr. Ajit Varghese, the Chief Commercial Officer from ShareChat Moj, and he would like to talk about leveraging power of culture and content. So please help me in welcoming Mr. Ajit Varghese to join us on stage, please.
Maybe in the last 2 years of our journey, while we have come out in the market and met a lot of clients, customers, people who have advertised with us, we have seen certain perceptions, certain myths, certain facts that on the table. So what I'll actually want to do is, present a few facts on the, around 5 facts on the table, which may sound obvious and probably what we are doing with that, and some myths that we wanted to uncover. First and foremost, very obvious one, what we call as Bharat, Indian languages. Indian languages, the population who speak and love the languages is actually almost 10x than the English audience. Probably most of us sitting in the room are probably in the top 10% of the population, which are predominantly English speaking. But if you look at the rest, 90% of India, it's actually diversity of language, an ecosystem to make sure that there is a platform which exists. If a person wants to discover language content, ShareChat is available today. The second fact that we wanted to put forward in this forum is that we are India's largest short video platform in India today, if you include ShareChat and Moj. And this statement can come as a surprise. This statement can be a factual. I'll tell you the reason why we are the number one. If you look at across most ShareChat, which is a social language space, but mostly dealing with short video format, and Moj is an entirely creator ecosystem short video format. Cumulatively, we have today got 325 million user profiles unduplicated. Yes, total number would be 400 million plus, but the unduplicated is 325 million user profiles. A host of almost 50 million plus creators in this ecosystem. 2/3 of the active internet users in South India is today on ShareChat and Moj. And that's big. It's most of our journey. While ShareChat started its beginning in 2016, most of our successes, if you look at ShareChat, Moj, and we acquired Takatak earlier this year, most of the growth is in the last 3 years. We are already covered 2/3 of the market. Fact number 4, yes, this is something that we again heard from a lot of interactions we had is, yes, okay, we have understood the numbers, we feel logically what you're saying is right, but most of us sitting in the room, probably mostly English-speaking audience, would not even have downloaded a ShareChat, or maybe we are not young enough to have interaction on, we are all used to established ecosystems and not downloaded a Moj. So what's happening out there? I don't know enough what's happening out there. So I thought maybe take a shot at few things that on a per minute basis, what's happening out there. Around 2 million active users at a given point in time. And I'm just talking ShareChat. Now imagine if I add Moj and Takatak into the story, this could easily double up. This is just a ShareChat demonstration. 2 million active users, 75,000 WhatsApp shares per minute. We have enabled a share on WhatsApp ever since ShareChat started. We had enabled the WhatsApp button. 75,000 shares. We don't know how many it further gets it forwarded, but we know the first share. That's the amount of volume we are talking about. 40,000 videos being published every minute, 1 million video views happening out there, and almost 92,000 comments every minute. That's the kind of scale and engagement we are talking about. I mean, I would love as a marketer to kind of look at this. If this is the user engagement, this is the user consumption, this is the user size, how do I grow among these audiences? That's something that we are offering on the table. We went out in the market and said, we created a report called Bharat Report, understanding and deciphering who these users are, what their interests are, what their intent is. And we figured out that if you look at across games, even travel, there is more and more interest from the larger tier 2, tier 3 audience today compared to the tier 1. Now maybe tier 1 is a bit saturated, maybe there is enough audience penetration which has happened there, so it's maybe a bit of fight of market share there in the tier 1, but in the tier 2, tier 3, if you start looking at the opportunity in the next 2 or 3 years or 5 years, this is where the market expansion lies. 43% of Bharat audience is today actually shopping online. or they have intent to buy shopping online. Now, this is in the last 2-3 years. Now, imagine the next 5 years. I would say in the next 5 years, this penetration would go up to 80, 85, or even 90% of people buying online in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 towns. But as I look into new developing categories, we have seen that banking, finance, do-it-yourself are growing segments. We initiated a activity called Learning on Moj, and one of the fastest growing category with 20 billion video plays on finance and do it yourself.
भाई मैंने इस साल स्टॉक मार्केट से 4,50,000 का प्रॉफिट बुक किया है। क्या बात है भाई, फिर टैक्स का क्या सोचा है? भाई तो क्या आउटडेटेड रहता है? तेरे को नहीं पता गवर्नमेंट की न्यू टैक्स स्लैब के अकॉर्डिंग मुझे 5 लाख तक कोई भी टैक्स पे नहीं करना है। मतलब तू भी कंफ्यूज हो गया ना? रुक मैं समझाता हूँ। जिनकी एज 60 से कम है उनका टैक्स स्लैब अभी भी 2.5 लाख रुपीस है, एंड जिनकी एज 60 से ज्यादा
है। चतुर्भुज को क्या बोलते हैं और त्रिभुज को क्या बोलते हैं? तो चतुर्भुज को इंग्लिश में बोलते हैं क्वाड्रिलेटरल और त्रिभुज को इंग्लिश में बोलते हैं ट्रायंगल। अब आप लोग मुझे नीचे कमेंट करके मेंसुरेशन के क्वेश्चंस को सॉल्व करते हुए समझ नहीं आता है चतुर्भुज को क्या बोलते हैं और त्रिभुज को क्या
So if you start looking at these kind of things that are happening in short video, where the consumers have moved from long form videos and moving from mid short to short form videos, these are stuff that they would love to understand, because these are growing categories, growing interests, and growing segments that are happening in short video space. And as we grow further and further, we are seeing e-com sector, gaming sector, or consumer durables starting taking interest. Even fashion and entertainment are obvious choices, right? And so established model has its merit, but we wanted to just present three points of new models that we can create. One of them is called branded hashtags. So these are hashtags where we offer up a challenge to the consumer, and the consumer automatically starts generating interest, interacts with that particular lens or particular because of the influencers, because of the interest in that group, and it's pretty organic, right? Because you're not putting a media asset of a 30-second or 60-second. You're just offering up a challenge or an interest or a dance step or a hook step that we call, and making sure the consumer and brand engagement is very organic. The next format that I wanted to actually talk about is something very interesting. It's called creator ads. Normal consumers, normal people who have limited even with people who have limited fan following, creating ads for you. And we have seen these kind of ads actually give you more return on investment than even branded asset. And we have seen it across performance funnel. We have seen it across branded funnel. We have seen it in people who wanted to actually associate with either a festival or an occasion or a particular storytelling. And I'll just play.
बेटा ये देख, जैसा तुझे चाहिए था बिल्कुल वैसा एक रिश्ता आया है।
अच्छा, क्या उसे ट्रैवलिंग करना पसंद है? फ्राइडे टू फ्राइडे मेरे साथ मूवी देखने चलेगी। ड्राइव करना जानती है क्या? जॉब करती है?
हाँ।
क्या बात कर रही हो माँ? ऐसा रिश्ता कहाँ से ढूंढ निकाला?
भारत मैट्रिमोनी से। यहाँ रजिस्टर करते ही लाखों वेरीफाइड।
நான் ரம்மி சர்க்கிளா உடனே குடுக்கறதுக்கு?
ஆமா அதுவும் சரிதான். அது 100% சேஃப் அண்ட் செக்யூர். ஒண்ண மாதிரியா?
ரம்மி சர்க்கிள்ல 2000 போனஸோட வெல்கம் பண்றாங்க. ஒண்ண மாதிரி ஃப்ரெண்ட்.
So whether it's first deposit, whether you track it at cost per profile, actual reduction and actual business savings that we are figuring out. And imagine, take a guess today. I mean, even I was surprised when I was checking internally, how many of such creator ads do we make today? And I figured that internally, per month, we are making 750 units like these for brands and clients across performance and branding funnel. And that's the scale that we are talking about. And we are hoping that we will probably be touching around 1,000 number within this year itself.
Friendships Day to you, to everybody जो भी इस chat पे हैं, हमें join किया है जिन्होंने, आप सबको a very 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 happy Friendships Day.
So it's actually one of our hidden secrets. We have the largest chat room I would say in the world, because I checked the Guinness book and said the most number of people who have attended a chat room is some 67,000. And I was telling my marketing team, why haven't we applied for it? Because we have crossed 3.5 lakh people coming on a chat room, when either on a movie promotions or people who are doing kavita, astrology, or when celebs come in movie. Last month itself, we have probably done around 139 chat rooms, movie promotions, regional, national, doing anniversary for people, people anniversary chat room where fans want to come and celebrate the celebrities' death anniversary. So those cricketers coming into Ben, cricket chat now happening. There are sponsors for on of that. So these are stuff that you can create a brand philosophy and engage with audiences over a longer period of time. If you ask me the single line story that all of you sitting in this room want to unlock in the next 2 to 5 years, I would say invest behind Bharat, cultural diversity. Short video is a space that is not just in India, but it's a global phenomenon, why it's come into being. And last but not the least, we are investing in behind video commerce, and that's an experimentation. We are going to take it for the next 3 to 5 years, because we really think that there is a huge potential to uncover content to commerce in India. Thank you so much.
So now we move on to the last panel of the day, and let's find out advertising in the southern markets. What works, what doesn't. The session will be moderated by Mr. Sohail Karia, co-founder from Bang. Everybody, let's have a big round of applause and let's welcome Mr. Sohail, the co-founder, to join us on stage. To also, let's have the panelist, Mr. Bala Manyan, the director, OPN Advertising, Deepan Ramachandran, founder, Mind Your Language, Vinod Ramakannan, founder and CEO, Spinta Digital, Shrideep Kesavan, CEO, Heritage Foods Limited, Bikash Kundu, SVP and Head, Revenue Regional Entertainment, Viacom 18 Media, and Amit Zunjarwad, the Chief Product Officer from ShareChat and Moj, to join us on stage and to take over the session for all of us, please.
So today we're here to talk about advertising in the southern markets and what works, what doesn't. I'd like to bring in Amit now into this conversation, because from TV we've moved on to digital, and ShareChat sort of is India's leading social media platform, or is India's social media platform, which caters content in 14 regional languages, if I'm not mistaken. What is the kind of shift in trends that you are noticing? What are the kind of ad formats that are working that you are noticing when you're building ShareChat?
See, if you really look at the broader trends, right? I think 2022 will be the year where digital will probably be the majority channel where the ad spends happen. I think in South, that trend is slightly lagging behind. You're right? I think about 50% of spends are still on TV, followed by print, about 30%, and digital is at 10%, right? So I think in South, there is a lot of headroom, even when you look at domestic market, for them to sort of graduate to digital. I think when you really look at regional language as a market, right, and the need to reach out to audiences in the language of their comfort, it is not just about translating an English campaign and running it in regional language, right? I think there is a lot of layers where you need to understand the regional language, lives, or way the people lead their lives, what are their preferences, what are their content consumption patterns, and really get into that. If you really look at ShareChat, I mean, between ShareChat, Moj, Takata, right, we have about 400 million monthly active users reach. About 100 million users consume content on our platform on an everyday basis, and they spend about 2 hours on the platform. And a large percentage of the users are Gen Z and millennials. Just to give some context around the ad formats, right? I think one of the most successful ad campaign that we have executed on our platform is the Thumbs Up campaign, where in the summer, right, Thumbs Up ran a campaign with Shah Rukh Khan and Vijay Devarkonda. And we had a campaign where you could really create videos, right, with Vijay Devarkonda and Shah Rukh Khan in the same frame, right? Custom creative that you can share on your social media. And we have seen massive adoption of that, right? I mean, more than 1.2 billion views on our platform, right, alone. If you really look at some more sort of regional examples, Muthoot Finance wanted to run a campaign and target their audience. And we actually saw that not just the influencers, but end users ended up creating their stories of success. Even more precise, right? I think Bima Jewelers, I think we all know the brand. They opened a new store in Coimbatore and they wanted to reach the nearby audience. And I think more than 10,000 creators created content, and that campaign itself got more than 3.4 million views, right? So I think the audiences are consuming content on more accessible modern medium, which is mobile phones, and bite-sized content, which is short video. And I think brands need to be in that space, right, to catch the audience where they are, right? And platforms like ShareChat sort of enable that in a very, very meaningful way. When it comes to digital and let's say a creator or influencer-led platform like ShareChat or Moj, I feel that I think brands have a very unique avenue to really go like hyper regional. Right? I mean, somebody was saying in the lounge there, right, that India changes every 50 kilometers, and how, and we see that, right? So, for example, when brands come to a platform like ours and leverage the power of influencers, and influencers have this very tightly knit, very local communities around them, right? And how users participate. We see that for any brand campaign, the way it comes to life in, let's say, Tamil Nadu versus in Andhra, right, is completely different because the regional influencers are different and they know what content consumption patterns are there, what can really resonate from, let's say, local slangs or local likes and local trends. And I think that's where like the true India sort of comes alive, right? So I think I feel that with respect to do's, it is like level, like as they say, right, like go where the consumer is. Consumer is spending more and more time on digital platforms. Digital platforms by design are a lot more, I would say, targetable, right? And with this new era of creator-led campaigns, right, you don't even need to have one single creative that runs across the country or even across the region or a state, right? I think creatives then tapping into local communities and then getting like the leaf node, the end user involved in those campaigns, right, can really bring in the regional flavors alive. And we see that every day on ShareChat.